Hi, thanks for stopping by today. Today is November 9th, 2025, and I'm going to review a piece of tech called the Calendar Invite Server. It is a messaging pipeline with a whole bunch of workflows. Specifically, this series is focused on the NFL game data set, and we are going to go through the first setup here on November 9th, which is just a conceptual example over 4 or 5 slides. So when we talk about our technology, essentially it is visualized finally in a web marketing email or an app. And what I mean by that is when you generate a calendar invitation with our technology, it is embeddable into a upcoming landing page, into something like a button inside of MailChimp, or into a app integration layer whereby you're directly communicating with our APIs to a database to send calendar invites. But each of these areas here represent an ability to take our tech and insert it into one of those 3 modalities. In the end, what happens is a calendar invite is sent and tracked out of these 3: web marketing, email, and apps. And over here, this is a visualization of our APIs working at a surface layer across these technologies to send calendar invites that are tracked. So that said, how do we get data into the Calendar Invite server? It's really simple. In this concept here, Mandy is the organizer. She has a calendar client. That means anybody in the world that has a calendar client can actually become a customer at a service provider level. And that means Mandy here with her calendar client created the NFL game schedule. She loaded it up into her calendar client. She sent those independent events to our API gateway. We tear down the calendar invite invitations and we store them in the database. And that all happens just in a couple minutes. The first one is what we call a create. So Mandy sent this example, Giants versus Philadelphia Eagles, round 6. She imported the data. She didn't have to do anything with the data, but forwarded it on to us, in which she used a forwarding email box, create@calendarsnack.com. That becomes the point of ingestion. When that data is inserted into her organizer view of the console, she receives an email confirmation back that that data is in there. And if she wanted to update or cancel it, she just simply uses the same calendar event in her calendar, in this case here, Google Calendar. She updates it or cancels it using the same command, create@calendarsnack.com. Essentially what that means, she goes in and just edits the same one in which she sent to us, and then that data flows linearly across the API layer into the Calendar Invite Server console, which is here. So Mandy owns all this tech here. She owns the calendar client, and she owns a login to the Calendar Invite Server here, represented as CalendarSnack. CalendarSnack is running on her tech stack, and essentially what she has is a very large dashboard of a couple thousand events over time, in which she's been using as a demo engine, and I'm representing here. This data is loaded again via her calendar client, and then she updates or cancels using her calendar client itself to constantly get this data updated as she needs to. Now, when the calendar invites go out, she tracks them in the event organizer dashboard, and we're going to talk more about that. So essentially, we have 2 big stacks in which people use our technology for. That is upcoming events. So that means if you were to put in something like the NFL game schedule that has over 1,000 games in it, that schedule is visualized here in an upcoming landing page in a chronological order. We generate these pages on your behalf. It's all automated, and I can show you that in later demos. But essentially, if you're on the YouTube channel, which you are watching this, you can go to the other videos in which we have demonstrated it in numerous ways. For this video, again, the concept create, update, cancel off of Mandy's calendar. Any of that data that was showing up in a previous panel here on her console will show up here in her landing pages, so she can constantly update this data. And then same here with the button generator here for MailChimp. The upcoming landing pages and the RSVP buttons. These are the 2 most sought after and used pieces of tech, 1 and 2 with our tech stack. Anytime you update data here on the left, it flows across the Calendar Invite Server APIs, and that data here is updated in whatever send invitation you pick here in the picker. So upcoming events, as well as these buttons here for single events to be embedded into MailChimp. So that said, that data again flows across this panel here. The updated granular data would be seen in these dashboards here. When someone clicks to see event data, they see granular data here. Again, all this data you're seeing here comes from the calendar client itself, and in particular, this is Mandy's calendar client data she sent to the CalendarVite server. So example here in MailChimp, how this works is someone goes into the picker. This data here for the NFL has been loaded by Mandy. They come in and do a copy link. They put it into an RSVP button. Here in a MailChimp, they just insert the code in. This is an API code, so when it's clicked, we regenerate a CalendarVite on demand. We actually reconstruct the calendar invite, and we send it out for that particular game, and then we collect the calendar receipts themselves. So here in this demo, this is a full live demo of how it's visualized. Again, the button RSVP API is inserted into this MailChimp campaign. He or she clicks the button, it hits our API, we send out the calendar invites, and then we request the calendar receipts back to the calendar invite server, and we visualize those in the dashboard. So moving on, what happens here in this slide is a visualization of the same. Create, update, and cancel communicates to the calendar invite server data. That calendar invite server data in this particular demo coming up for y'all here on Sunday is seen in the calendar invite console. That is Mandy's console. All her data on these screens are generated by her calendar client here by sending it to the drop-off box create@calendarsnack.com. Now, the goodie of the day is Arnie, our teammate and co-founder here, built a customized page using our APIs to actually take the data out of the calendar invite server for Mandy and visualize this really nice page here for us, which is a custom site built for the NFL for the demo series. And in this demo series, if you go to NFL2025.31events.com, you'll see this really nice live demo in which you can send calendar invites to yourself and see how it works for the NFL game schedule. In that, Arnie's done a nice job on how he built out this stack here, which is essentially how he built the console itself for the calendar invite server data set. That said, I'm going to wrap it up here. So the point being, the overall winner in this whole thing is we believe calendar invites are a whole bunch better than email sending with no calendar invites, and we promote this idea of using our tech stack for a service provider or a large company that has thousands or millions of customers downstream that could use this technology for sending calendar invites, and then he or she as the organizer could communicate and update via our pipeline to those people downstream that do have the calendar invitations because they show up in the dashboard itself, and then you have a really nice data set of who has been interacting for a particular event in which you can update and then send out promotions and or updates for location change, message body, or time changes. That's the end of the pitch, and thanks for stopping by on Sunday.